have thoughts, okay? It's not early. I was thinking it's early. It's 11 o'clock. I already went out and came back. So my brain sometimes thinks I didn't go anywhere. Or, like, time didn't exist while I was gone. Okay, this morning, the internet is trying to cancel Rita Moreno. Because she defended Lin-Manuel Miranda. Because he didn't have enough dark-skinned people in... or dark-skinned Puerto Ricans, I guess, in the Heights movie. I don't know anymore. I guess he produced it. I don't think he directed it. It's somebody, John Chu. I don't exactly think I know that guy very well. Anyway, she has said that you can never do right, it seems. And she's talking about Lin-Manuel Miranda, and she says, "This is the man who literally has brought Latino-ness and Puerto Rican-ness to America. I couldn't do it. I would love to say I did, but I couldn't. Lin-Manuel has done that really single-handedly, and I'm thrilled to pieces, and I'm proud that he produced my documentary." So it goes on, but let me just say something right now. I mean, he did not bring Puerto Rican-ness to this country. Puerto Ricans brought Puerto Rican-ness to this country. I mean, look, I'm 47, right? Okay. So, when I was a kid, like, say, 6th grade, my favorite Puerto Ricans were, like, this cute boy in my school and, like, Menudo. You know? And that's why years later, when there was this Latin explosion, right? With, like, J-Lo and Mark Anthony and Ricky Martin, I was like, but they've been here. You know what I mean? I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, where I come from, I grew up. I'm from it's a small city, Massachusetts, on the South Coast. Like I said, my family is Cape Verdean. Most of the people I went to school with were Portuguese or Cape Verdean or Puerto Rican. But if you look at the demographics, and I'll never understand this, it says it's way white, like the population is really white, but I don't know. But before we all got here, our people got here, I think it was mostly French, from, like, people had emigrated to, I don't know, Canada, and then got here somehow or something, I don't know. But I think if like right now, right, I jumped in the ocean and started swimming east, I think I'd hit France from where we are, you know. I mean, we're not Cape Cod. We're, like I said, in the armpit, if Cape Cod is an arm. So the point is, this is where we are. I mean, I grew up with a lot of Puerto Rican people. I don't know why when Puerto Ricans speak Spanish, I don't understand it, and somehow I can pick up what Dominicans are saying. I think that's because when I went to college in New York in the 90s, I was around a lot more Dominican people. But the point is, West Side Story, I love West Side Story. Everybody loved West Side Story. If there were white people around back then who didn't know any Puerto Ricans, that movie brought Puerto Rican-ness to the rest of America who didn't, I guess, know Puerto Ricans. But also, this shit is annoying because now everybody's trying to cancel her because of, like, she should have shut up because in that movie they gave her darker makeup. And my thing has always been, please do not go along with this crap, because I love that movie. Bernardo, not Puerto Rican. George Chakiris, as far as I know, is Greek. Okay? Did I not buy him in the role? No! Al Pacino, not Puerto Rican in Carlito's Way. We all love that movie. Al Pacino, not Cuban in Scarface. I don't love that movie. A lot of people love that movie. I bet you that Hispanic people love those movies. Why are we doing this shit all the time? Why, you know, Lin-Manuel Miranda should not have to apologize. You know, I don't know what his upbringing was. I do think he came from, I don't know that he came from rich people. I don't know exactly where he grew up, but I do think that he probably, I think his parents were either professors or artists or something. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he grew up in a certain area. I don't know his situation, because I think there's been a lot of overkill with him. I think You know, like the handful of celebrities that are on TV all the time, the John Legends, the people you see over and over and over again, maybe people get sick of them and stuff like that, because it's just 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For how many years now you're seeing the same people all the time? So maybe that's why the movie didn't do so good. Maybe, you know, people are busy with their lives because everybody's lives suck, like I said. But to be even having this conversation, I don't understand it. They use that word Latinx. I've never heard that word used in real life. I don't know if it was invented. I don't know what the hell's going on. But as she said, you can't do anything right, because every time you you do something, somebody's going to complain. I have already said what I think about these things. For me, I think everybody should be able to play everything if it can be believable. So if you have an actor, like I said before, David Oyelowo is obviously a black guy. He's British. He's not an American. He played Martin Luther King. He looked nothing like him. Was able to tweak his voice to sound something like him. But to me, it's like, I wouldn't have chosen him for the role. Not that he's not a good actor, but he looked nothing like the guy. Okay? Jeffrey Wright, who's one of my favorite actors, had played him in the past. He was closer, but he didn't look exactly like him either. But, you know, for me, if I was casting a film, which I do in my mind anyway, whether people ask me to or not, I would cast for looks. I have said before that in my mind, because Benicio del Toro is one of my favorite actors, I had imagined a situation where somebody would make a movie about Rick James and Benicio would play Rick James, because I think they have the same kind of face. Now look at this. He's Puerto Rican, but Rick James wasn't. And if I said that now, which I just did, I'll get stabbed on the internet and left for dead, because you can't say shit like that. I just think an actor, you know, you should cast for talent. If you're portraying a real life figure, you should cast for looks, or somebody who can be made to look like the person. Daniel Day-Lewis, perfect example. Great actor. Didn't look like Abraham Lincoln, you know, before. They got the poster. The poster comes out for him as Lincoln. It's just a big giant head. It's Daniel Day-Lewis, made to look with he looked exactly like Abraham Lincoln, and we all like, okay, he won the Oscar. Nobody saw anything but the poster. We knew he was going to win the Oscar. So if you're talking about if you're talking about a historical figure, somebody who really existed, somebody who's really alive, I think you should cast somebody who can be made to look like them. I don't care what race they are, you know. And if it's just a fictional character, then anybody should be able to play a part. If it's in a book, let's say there's, I don't know, say there's a book written and it's a popular character, but it's completely fictional, and the character has blonde hair and blue eyes and is described that way. You could cast somebody who naturally has blonde hair and blue eyes, or you could cast somebody who has dark hair and brown eyes and put blue contacts and strip their hair and make it blonde, if it can look right. If it can't look right, then I don't think you should do that. So to try to change characters to corrupt a way that a pre-existing character is supposed to look, I don't see the point in that. There's so many actors in this world who need a job. Why you can't cast for looks? This is what I think you should do for fans, or for anybody who already knows the character or historical figure, real life person. Once the person looks like them, regardless of race, because like I said, in the case of you know, I think that's how you say his name, Oyelowo. I really don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, he's the right race, but he didn't look anything like him. So that to me is more, I'm not saying Ava DuVernay was racist when she cast him. I'm just saying to say that, okay, somebody who looks nothing like somebody can play it because they're the right race. Meanwhile, somebody who maybe looks exactly like them, but would say a Puerto Rican had looked exactly like Martin Luther King Jr., which could have happened, and was cast, people would have been up in arms. I don't know. None of it makes sense to me. So actors should be able to play whatever. I mean, is that lady's name Linda Hamilton? It's something Hamilton. She played a dude in The Year of Living Dangerously. I think she won an Oscar for it. The little lady who was the Shut-Up Mapes in Dune, and I think she was one of the voice characters for The Incredibles. So in the movie, I watched The Incredibles once. She's the black hair with the glasses lady. Anybody should be able to play anything, any gender, and if you pass in the role, if you can pass for looking like and sounding like a historical figure, fine. If they're, like I said, if there's a well-known character in a book or comic book or something, and it's looked like something all these years, and it's been a certain way all these years, cast to match what it looks like, what that character looks like. If it's a book like, I don't know, Moby Dick, let's say, and you know, you can't, if a big giant tuna fish looked like the giant whale, give the tuna fish the role. I mean, it would have to be the biggest tuna ever, or you'd have to use forced perspective. But if it was a talented tuna fish, I don't see, and it compares for the biggest whale ever, I don't see why not. Especially if it had all the angst and aggression required for the role. So I just keep seeing all this stuff going on. I think everybody in Hollywood is crazy right now. I mean, the Tauruses are nuts. Cher keeps freaking out about President Trump, who's not even president when she's tweeting all the time. Then there's that whole thing with that other actor. I don't even want to, you know, I can't talk about him. And then Kevin Hart was tweeting about white privilege, and I'm like, what's he doing? And then the next, I mean, I think he may have tweeted more, but the next one I see, he's talking about how much money he has, like, to brag, and I'm like, what's this guy doing? So the Tauruses, and here's where I go nuts on astrology. All right, the Tauruses are losing their minds. Here's what I think happened last month. All the astrological things were in their favor, so they were a little high on themselves and smelling rarefied air and smelling their own farts, and they were really gung-ho and everything. Now we've shifted into Gemini season. There's been 2 eclipses, and I think it sent them reeling, and they're just making a complete mess of everything. My Sagittarius brethren, like Jon Stewart, like Rita Moreno, they're telling the truth like we are want to do, and the world don't like the truth no more. You know, she's right. Leave the guy alone. Leave Lin-Manuel Miranda alone. He made a good movie. Leave him alone. Or not good. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but he made a movie to his liking. He's Puerto Rican. Okay, he didn't check off all the boxes, even though he was trying really hard to. This is the key. I mean, we've gone nuts. People need their freedom. People need to be able to say, okay, I want to hire this guy or that lady or that girl, you know, for the role, because I think I have a creative vision and I think they're the best for the role, and that's who I want, based on whatever standards the person with the creative vision, usually the director, sometimes the producer, well, the producer boss is the director, but really it should be the director's vision with, you know, approval of the producers, to make a creative vision that's exactly like you want in a fine piece of art. People need the freedom to do that, okay? So, yeah. Everything in the world is topsy-turvy. Everything's going crazy. I know me as a Sagittarius, I'm losing my mind, but in a good way. But the truth is coming out on a lot of things. I think as the days go on, more and more you see on Twitter, more and more the cancel culture, which is 100% a real thing. I'm sick of hearing it's not a real thing. Oh, they were going after Charles Barkley. I've liked Charles Barkley since I was a kid. I will vote for that man for president. They went after him because apparently he's been telling a joke. I don't really watch basketball, but I liked him back when I watched basketball, and whenever he comes on something, I like the guy. He's so funny. He's been telling some joke about women in San Antonio since forever. The kind of jokes we always made that aren't allowed now. And I guess his bosses at TNT told him, or TBS, which channel is that on? Anyway, one of them to stop saying the joke he's been saying all since forever. He is who he is. He's been the same way. Now you're going to change Charles Barkley, who is somebody that people know, and the ones who like him. If people don't like him, we know who he is. This cancel culture is real. It's stupid. And what cancel culture means is it's canceling your freedom. It's canceling your ability to work. If the boss comes to you and says, you have to not say these words or you're going to get fired, that's being canceled. Stop saying, oh, that's just a boss telling you how to be. Yeah, boss isn't supposed to tell you every single little thing to do, especially when you've been that's the person you hired. That's how they've been since forever. And now you're suddenly going to come along and threaten them or whatever, or because that's, if a boss is telling you not to do something, they're threatening their job, right? It's inherent in the threat that if you don't do what I say, you're going to get canned. So being canned is canceled. Losing your TV show is being canceled. And even if it's your boss doing it, which is firing you, and they do it in such a way that nobody else is going to hire you, or society is going, the dinglings in society who want to police everyone else are going to sit there and applaud when you're canceled because you didn't go along with the current narrative, which this narrative must be dying by now because most people are not going along with it. Everything's coming out. People found out about the lab. People are finding out all kinds of things as the days go on, and the media is making a fool of themselves. If people want to, they're going after stuff that more as the days go on, you see more and more people just don't care. They just don't care about cancel culture. But everybody's crazy. They smushed our brains in lockdown. We're all going nuts. Like I said, the Tauruses are trying to make people hate them. I don't know. The Sagittariuses are finally coming out of our, we're finally coming out of the, out of our hiding places and telling the truth. Well, I've been telling the truth this whole time because I'm nuts. I've been nuts. But everybody else is now finally saying, hey, you know what? Wait a minute. So, yeah. You're not canceling Rita Moreno. Get over it. Yeah, she had on dark makeup to play Anita, and she was great in that dark makeup playing Anita, and you freaking know it. And I'm so tired. And like I said, that whole movie, you pick on the whole movie. I mean, the whole point of that movie was for people not to be racist. West Side Story, I mean. So now I'm tired of this. We're all tired of it, aren't we? Can we just go back to being people again, please? It's not that hard. All these people, all you assholes weren't watching Manifest. You know how diverse that cast was? You can watch it so it gets canceled. You guys suck. Too many thoughts. 18 minutes. I am going to fix the audio, and I'm going to put this up. But don't cancel Rita Moreno. We Sagittarians are on the march. We're going to tell the truth, and you're not going to like it. You're going to be butthurt, and it's going to hurt your feelings. You're going to have to cry. But then, the truth will set you free. Tell the truth.